Robert Downey Jr. has reportedly just seized total control over Avengers Doomsday, and the first person he's cutting down is Ryan Reynolds. Chris Hemsworth has allegedly picked a side, and it's not Reynolds. Deadpool's screen time has been slashed to under 60 seconds, no jokes, no Blake Lively, nothing. Kevin Feige is reportedly stuck in the middle of a war he can't publicly admit exists. This is the ugliest power war Marvel has ever tried to hide. Hey everyone, welcome back to Amelia Brown, where we dig into the stories Hollywood really doesn't want you connecting the dots on. Quick disclaimer before we get into it. Everything here is based on insider reports and industry claims. Allegedly, reportedly, nothing officially confirmed by Marvel or the actors involved. But if even half of what's being said is true, Avengers Doomsday isn't just a movie anymore, it's a battlefield. 3 of the biggest names in the MCU, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, and Ryan Reynolds. And suddenly, it's not Dr. Doom they're fighting. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why one of Hollywood's biggest stars might be getting frozen out of the biggest movie of the decade.
Doom's got the exact opposite, to where it takes all of these folks to go up against him.
When they came in and Ryan had a vision for the story.
His opinion, not cinema, I gotta take a look at that.
That was not kind.
Listen to that line again. Doom doesn't fight the Avengers head-on, he just lets them destroy each other. And somehow, that's exactly what's playing out behind the scenes right now. Nobody needed to write Victor Von Doom a rivalry with Iron Man, because the real rivalry was already sitting in the cast. Robert Downey Jr. against Ryan Reynolds, Chris Hemsworth picking a side. This isn't fiction anymore, this is the set. Marvel spent years building a villain who wins by division, and reportedly, that's happening off-screen before the cameras even roll. It's almost poetic in the worst way possible. The story about a man who conquers by turning heroes against each other is being made by a cast that's turning against each other. Doom hasn't even shown up yet, and his whole plan is already working.
Hemsworth. Worst actor, your least favorite Canadian in the whole world. Aviation gin, because it's disgusting. That's my favorite drink.
Worst actor, least favorite Canadian? Your gin is disgusting. That is not banter. That's a receipt. For years we were told these two were friends, trading jokes, keeping it playful, but watch how fast that story falls apart. Somebody says, "That's my favorite drink," and the response is, "It's disgusting." That's not a bit, that's a person who's done pretending. Insiders are now saying this wasn't a one-off moment. This is Hemsworth finally saying out loud what he's apparently thought for years. You don't casually call your friend the worst actor in the world on camera, unless something real is sitting underneath it. When Thor himself calls you the worst actor in the room, that's not a joke anymore, that's a verdict. Picture this. Hall H, San Diego Comic-Con, thousands of fans screaming, and Ryan Reynolds walks out in full Deadpool costume, completely unscripted. He's reportedly trying to hijack the panel, begging on stage for a bigger role in Doomsday. Instead of playing along like everyone expected, Robert Downey Jr. allegedly shuts him down cold, right there, in front of everyone. No laughs, no charm. Just a blunt reminder that the film is locked with zero room for last-minute additions. Sources say the entire directing team was furious, viewing the stunt as Reynolds trying to make the biggest reveal of the year. Victor Von Doom himself, all about him instead. Imagine planning your entire career around stealing the spotlight, and the one time it actually matters, it gets taken away from you on a live stage. Reynolds walked out expecting a spotlight. He got a public reality check instead. Here's the part people forget. This beef has receipts going back years. Deadpool and Wolverine dropped that infamous Thor crying over Deadpool's body gag, and when Reynolds posted about it online claiming he knew the real meaning, Hemsworth fired back cold, warning him he could keep secrets too. Fans laughed it off as harmless, but production insiders are now saying it was a genuine sore spot, with Hemsworth reportedly furious that his character's emotional moment got turned into viral marketing for someone else's movie. Then there's Free Guy. Chris Evans shows up for a cameo, Reynolds praises his Hollywood friends online, and Hemsworth, who wasn't invited to that party, allegedly calls Free Guy the worst film of the year in the comments. That's not just petty, that's a founding Avenger publicly saying, "You don't get to use us to build your own empire." Every single one of these moments got brushed off as playful celebrity banter at the time. Nobody's laughing now. This wasn't sudden, this was years of pressure finally cracking open. In 2020, the Superhero Fantasy Football League was supposed to be a fun charity event. Reynolds allegedly brought his own mother into it, filming her reading out insults calling Hemsworth Everyone's least favorite Australian. Hemsworth didn't let it slide. He reportedly filmed a response straight from set, dragging a crew member into frame, calling Reynolds a total kid, trashing Green Lantern as an embarrassing disaster, and going after his gin brand by name. That is not two co-stars joking around anymore. That's two grown men airing real grievances in public and calling it content. And once you bring family into it, there's no walking that back quietly. When the joke involves your mom and someone's entire acting career, it stopped being a joke a long time ago. Rewind even further to Hemsworth's 35th birthday, a simple photo of his son accidentally pushing his face into the candles. Reynolds gets tagged, and Hemsworth jokingly says his facial burns qualify him to take over as Deadpool. Reynolds claps back saying he's taking over Thor because his daughter stabbed him in the eye. Cute at the time, right? But insiders now frame this as the earliest visible crack, a fight over character ownership disguised as a joke. Hemsworth has reportedly always been protective of Thor's legacy, and Reynolds constantly inserting himself into that storyline apparently never sat right with him. What looked like harmless internet humor was actually the opening shot of a war neither of them called off. Here's the bigger picture nobody's talking about enough. This isn't really about jokes or gin brands or birthday photos. This is about control, about who gets to define what the MCU is going forward. Downey and Hemsworth are reportedly aligned on one thing. Avengers Doomsday needs to feel dark, serious, not another platform for viral one-liners and brand tie-ins. Reynolds, meanwhile, built an entire career on breaking that exact mold. Meta humor, self-aware jokes, blending his real life into the character. Two completely different philosophies of what a superhero movie should even be. And now they're forced to share one film. That's not a personality clash, that's a creative civil war. You can't put fire and ice in the same scene and expect anyone to stay calm. Spare a thought for Kevin Feige in all of this, because reportedly, he's the one stuck holding the pieces together. On one side, he's got Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth, two original Avengers with box office legacy and now, apparently, a united front. On the other, Ryan Reynolds, arguably the single biggest box office draw in the entire Marvel lineup right now thanks to Deadpool. Cut Reynolds down too far, and you risk alienating an audience that shows up specifically for him. Give him more room, and you risk losing the two actors anchoring the franchise since Phase 1. There's reportedly no version of this where Feige makes everyone happy. Someone walks away from this feeling shortchanged. Being the most powerful man in Marvel doesn't mean much when your two biggest stars refuse to be in the same room. So there it is. Downey holding the pen, Hemsworth standing right behind him, and Reynolds stuck outside looking in. One actor has the power, one has the backup, and the other is reportedly begging for 60 seconds of screen time. Now I want to know what you think. Do you think Downey is protecting the seriousness of this franchise? Or is this just ego dressed up as creative control? Did Reynolds bring this entirely on himself with the constant self-promotion? And honestly, are you Team Downey and Hemsworth on this? Or Team Reynolds? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe to Amelia Brown, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one, because this story is far from over. See you in the next video.